What's up, everybody, and welcome to Grim Narrator. And I'm your host, the Grim Narrator. So, I decided to start off this whole new adventure of the show with doing something a little fun. Those of you who've been here in the past know that I'm generally known for gaming and narrations, but now, we're going to do a little Reddit searching. And I figured what better way to start the show, this whole new branch, other than, am I the asshole? Because as we very well know, most people are. So, we're just going to get right into it. And this very first thing at the top of the page sounds potentially good. Am I the asshole? By user Torridpa? 12 hours ago from the time of this reading. Am I the asshole for telling my daughter I won't be paying for her college unless she attempts a relationship with my family? I'm gonna go right out the gate and say yes, because most of the time, people's family are just fucking assholes, especially if she's already decided not to do it. That would be my go-to. But let's see. I, a 38 male, have a 19-year-old daughter, Ariel, with my ex-wife, Lauren, 39 female. Well, you already married an older woman. We had Ariel too young, and it was a huge struggle. We moved into Lauren's family. I was working multiple jobs. Me and Lauren were best friends through all this, but things ended when Ariel was 2. Lauren's friend Tori, 38 female, told me that Lauren had been messaging guys, and when they went out, she would give out her number. I checked Lauren's phone and found it. I asked for a divorce. Lauren was pissed and wanted to reconcile. What? I didn't and got split custody. Lauren made my life hell. Lauren badmouthed me, would miss pickup times, and make decisions without talking to me. Her dad offered money to relinquish custody. I told him off. Ariel is now 19 and just started college. The deal was me and her mom would split it. I remarried Tori when Ariel was 6. That's a bad idea. Tori was a rock during the divorce, but we didn't date until 2 years later. Lauren used this to warp against Tori during, and our son, 13 male. This reads like a fucking... Ugh. Anyway, she excludes them. Whenever she spends the night, she will just talk to me or go to her room if my family was around. Our son walks to the basement if she comes out. She comes over. It hurts me a lot. I spent thousands on therapy before people bring that up. It still is being utilized. But at this point, Ariel is being nasty for the sake of it. Her mom has convinced her I cheated with her friend and had a baby. Which is funny because, as I've pointed out, the timelines don't even match up. I've done everything at this point, including family time, one-on-one, and therapy. Ariel is plain rude to them, and they're done trying. Ariel graduated from high school in May and hosted a party. I was invited, but my family wasn't. I told Ariel I found that disrespectful, so I'd send a card, but wouldn't be going. She didn't care, and we haven't spoken since. I get a call from Lauren saying she paid the first semester and was wondering when I'd be paying. I said I was no longer paying, as I'm not pulling money out of my household when Ariel is disrespectful to 2/3 of it. My ex went off, saying we had an agreement. I reminded her of when her dad tried to buy my custody and said, "You have what you've always wanted, full control in custody. You won, so figure it out." Then texted her saying I've been putting up with this long enough. She got her 18 years of child support from me. So until she planned on setting the record straight that I was done with both of them and blocked her. So Okay, I read that right. I called Ariel and told her the same. Gave the reasons I'm not paying and told her she needed to look into loans. But I would pay for college if she at least tried to form a bond with my family because she created this situation with her attitude. So if she wants my help, she needs to attempt it. She started crying, but I didn't fall for it. Told her what my expectations were and to let me know what her plan is so I can move the money around. My wife is on my side here, saying we've been the bad guys for long enough, but I'm getting shit from others. Am I the asshole? So, yeah. Going back to my original statement, yes, you are the fucking asshole. Because you're, it's your daughter's choice whether she sticks with your family or not. I mean, I'm sure there are plenty of others besides me that have people they just flat out don't like in their families, and she shouldn't be forced into having any kind of relationship with someone she doesn't want to have a relationship with. I mean, she's a fucking adult at this point anyway. You can't force her to do it, and you're being a dick, not filling your side of the fucking bargain, helping take care of your kid, getting her education done. Fuck your family. I mean, she's your daughter. That should take precedence over fucking anyone else. And, if you want anyone to have a relationship with him, it should be you. Let's see if. I don't see, I'm gonna be completely honest, I do not. I don't use Reddit. This is actually my first time ever getting on here to read anything. But I don't see that he's edited to say that something has changed. But what do you all think? Is he the asshole? Should? Do you think his daughter should try to form some kind of bond with his family? I mean, in a way, if he's gonna be a dick and continues to do this, she could, I guess, at least fake it for a while until she gets the money and gets college paid for. But I mean, on principle alone, he should go fuck himself. My 2 cents. Moving on. I think I already broke it. No. Am I the asshole for kicking my sister out for bringing gluten into our gluten? I am Groot. Gluten-free kitchen by poor unforgotten. Oh, poor unfortuna gluten. Fortunate gluten. Not unfortunate at all. Oh, God. I already smell this one being just stupid. But we're going to do it anyway. My daughter is on the more severe end of celiac. Any cross contamination would set her back for weeks. It's taken us years to get her properly diagnosed and treated. And at 10 years old now, she now is underweight and has severe anxiety about food. She will not eat if she feels it's unsafe, and it's hard for me to blame her. Our house has both a kitchen and a kitchenette in the basement. Okay, little leather face for me, but being in the basement. Complete with full sets of pans and utensils, our main rule for the house is that there's absolutely no dairy, gluten, or seafood to be kept or cooked in the kitchen. Our older son is allergic to seafood and my wife is lactose intolerant. Jesus. You people, you have a lot of digestive problems and immune problems. The kitchenette is for items containing those ingredients. My sister and her kids have had to move in with us for personal reasons. They live in the basement bedrooms, and when they moved in, we very clearly explained this rule to them and why. It took less than a week for us to find a box of pasta in the kitchen. We explained the rule and moved it, and she was apologetic. A month later, my daughter comes to us in a panic because my sister was making fried chicken in the kitchen. My sister was apologetic, but insisted she needed to because the kitchenette was too small. I'm already changing my opinion. My initial opinion. It felt harsh, but we moved all the food to the basement, threw out every single pan and utensil she may have used, and deep cleaned the kitchen. These incidents making the kitchen no longer 100% guaranteed safe has made her regress in therapy. We're working on it, but unfortunately right now it is so bad again that we have to feed her exclusively takeout from the one gluten-free restaurant around unless we want her in inpatient care. Which takes us to last Sunday. I get home and my daughter is having the worst panic attack I've ever seen. My mom and sister were in the kitchen making an entire Sunday dinner. Spaghetti, mozzarella sticks, garlic bread, the works. I lost it. I ended up absolutely screaming at them that they were ruining my life and had threatened my daughter's life for the last time, and I had had it. I threw all the food out into the yard and told my sister that if she really cared that little about her own niece's life, she could get the fuck out of my house. Now my mom is mad at me for kicking out my sister and her kids when they're vulnerable over a food allergy. Wait, what? Now my mom is mad at me for kicking out my sister and her kids when they're vulnerable over a food allergy. I think that's just wrong because it's your kids. Anyway, she can even leave the kids here if she absolutely needs to, but I'm done with her. We have one rule. One. My wife agrees with me, but thinks I should give one last chance and just not allow my sister to bring any food into the house. My mom can't take her in, and she can't afford rent anywhere, so she would be homeless if we didn't let her stay. I'm not sure I'm in the wrong here. Let's check the edit before truly forming an opinion, though I'm quite sure it's blatantly fucking obvious. The possibility of inpatient care has come up before and been fully investigated by our medical team. If she went into inpatient care, she would be eating takeout from the same restaurant there as well, as they would also not be able to safely cook for her in the facilities. The only true differences will be more monitoring and not being at home. I mean, that's rough. I mean, in my humble opinion, you are completely not the asshole for kicking your sister out and her kids. I mean, it sucks that the kids have to go, but at the same time, you were giving them a place to stay, and she was being a whiny little fucking shit over the kitchenette being too small. And apparently, even your own mom just totally, I don't know, is a shit for not really giving a damn about your own rules or your child's safety and health. You, I mean, I have no problem cutting people off. I would have cut all of them out of my life, like, immediately. The second chance, sure, I could see that. Third chance, it's your damn fault if you do it a third time and they do the same shit. It's just not worth it. It's not. She needs to get the fuck over herself and grow up and either obey the rules or stay gone. Yeah, that's just terrible. Absolutely terrible. See if we can get back. And do. this a chance. It's fairly short. I, 30 male, have a beautiful wife who loves to serve others. Suspicious. We brought home. We bought a home down the street from my family. I have a sweet sister, 17, who likes to crash at our house with her friends. My wife normally is pretty easygoing until recently. My sister's friends have been leaving messes, mostly towels on the floor after using our pool. My wife got upset picking up after them every day. I have asked my sister to make sure the house is clean after they leave, and it's been getting better. My wife also complained that some of her perfume/clothes personal items have gone missing. My sister said it's not her. I believe my sister. I just don't see her doing that. I told my wife and we agreed to just replace them. Last week my wife made a couple of pans of cinnamon rolls from scratch. One pan was for us, the second was for a co-worker's family who was experiencing a tragedy. My wife went to the gym, I went to work, and my sister and her friends came by. The one pan wasn't enough for her and her friends. They wanted the second pan of cinnamon rolls, and my sister texted my wife asking if they could eat them. My wife said no. They ate them anyways. My wife, upset, went and bought new locks. When I came home, my wife handed me a new key and told me she didn't want anyone else having a key to our house. I tried to calm her down and tell her that I would just go replace the eaten cinnamon rolls with store-bought ones. My wife decided this was her hill to die on and said no. My sister lost the privilege to come when we're not home. Replacing stolen items wasn't good enough anymore. Fair. My mom called and asked if my sister could use the pool as a back-to-school party. I was under the impression my mom would be there. I said yes. My mom was at work and our schedules clashed. The easiest solution was for me to change the locks back so they could come into the house. My mom didn't come with my sister. When my wife got home after the party, it was a mess. She sent me photos. She called me the we're changing the locks. Asshole, I guess. AITA, asshole. Well, changing the locks without talking to her about it. Keep in mind, she did too. Then told me I broke her trust. She wasn't safe in her home because she keeps getting robbed and I refused to put an end to it. I did talk to my sister. Then my wife let me know she was staying with a friend for a while. Am I the asshole here? I feel like I've tried to right any wrongs that have happened between my wife and my sister. Update. Sorry I haven't been able to reply for the last couple hours. I've been busy. I talked to my mom again and let her know my sister isn't allowed without me home. I asked a friend's wife who's a maid to come deep clean our home, so if/when my wife comes home, it's clean. The last thing is my mom asked me to help cover my sister's cheer. What? She's on track for a scholarship. I told my mom I would pay for half of my wife's things were returned. Half if my wife's things were returned, I'm assuming. If not, the money was going to replace the stolen items. So his mom wants him to help cover the cost of her cheer practice. Costs for cheerleading. I take it that's what I'm getting out of it. Also, my sister was invited to homecoming. She wanted me to buy a dress. I told her no for not following our home rules, and the money I saved for the dress was going to pay for the maid. I did replace the locks again. I'm also planning a romantic dinner I will make and clean up. I heard a lot about the cinnamon rolls. Someone on here gave me the idea to make them. I am for a dessert. Update. My sister and my mom left a few minutes ago. My sister had a bag of my wife's things, more than I thought was gone. Most items are in poor shape. The big thing is she had my wife's grandmother's ring I thought was in the safe. Oh, shit. I had no idea it was gone. My sister said she found it on my wife's nightstand during a party. She forgot she had it on when she left our home. The ring isn't valuable, it's just sentimental. I told my mom who the ring belonged to. My mom lost it. Lost it. My sister is now grounded. That, first of all, you, A, should have left the fucking locks alone. When your wife changed them, it was for a good reason. Because it was, I mean, her shit was getting stolen, things were getting destroyed, messed up, nobody was being responsible. B, you honestly, to me, should have thought ahead and had an adult stay when these kids were there. I mean, honestly, who the fuck lets teenagers come over to their house unsupervised with no adult there? Who the fuck knows what all they've been doing while you're not home? That's that's terrible. That's a terrifying thought, actually. And I mean, you should have put a stop to it before your wife left. I mean, my wife would absolutely take center stage on that shit. Fuck everybody else. Fuck the siblings, the parents, whatever. I, I mean, and to bring back a bag, at least a bag of things she had taken from your home, that's ridiculous. Who knows what else is missing that her friends probably have. And and your wife's grandmother's ring. I don't give a shit if that came out of a nickel machine, a Cracker Jack box, what the fuck ever, from almost a century ago. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's A, the principle of the thing, and B, the sentimental value. That makes it priceless. I don't give a shit. So yeah, I hope everything's gone well with your wife at this point. That she came back home and you two were situated again. But get your shit right. You gotta support your wife first, everyone else second, if ever. Moving on. This one sounds interesting. Am I the asshole for not helping my parents when they are homeless? My parents are terrible with money. When I, 27 female, was little, my father gambled away all of the savings of about $100,000 in risky penny stocks, which got wiped out in 2008. And we were forced to move into a single bedroom in a house for the three of us. I'm very curious whether that means it was like a single bedroom apartment, a single bedroom house. Because it says single bedroom in a house. Were you staying with someone else in just like one of the bedrooms? Anyway. Then my mom fell for an MLM, and you can imagine what happened. Well, MLMs are terrible, god awful things that are just parasites to humanity. Who the hell knows? We may get into reading some of that shit someday. Anyway. Then my mom fell for an MLM, and you can imagine what happened. They lost the down payment to the house that we were saving for. I begged them not to sign up for it once I saw it was clearly a scam and showed them evidence it was, and they just laughed at me and ignored me. They lost about $28,000 from that. Then recently they fell for a college sign-up scam and lost $32,000. They weren't signing up for college, they just needed a loan and tried to go through a private broker who promised to give them a school loan that they would use on whatever they wanted. I went with them to see the broker and told them it was a scam, and they ignored me. So basically, they were trying to scam the government and got scammed instead. I actually tried to pry the pen away from my father's hands when I got Desperate as he was, writing down his bank info and social security number, and he screamed at me. I was embarrassing him and did it anyway. Again, they lost the money, and again, they lost money, and they are now homeless because their credit is crap and they can barely afford even crappy apartments. They probably can't get that money back since they have little documentation on the broker and what he promised. Now they live in their car and are begging me for money. I have about $100,000 saved. Holy shit, what do you do for a living? Waiting to buy a house, and they know about it because I stupidly told them I was saving for a house, and now we're calling me and showing up to my apartment asking for money. They also want to move in the meantime, but my roommate and I agreed visitation from friends or family is max a week to prevent resentment. And if my parents move in, they probably will refuse to move out. They're going to food pantries, and honestly, I can't find it in myself to be that sympathetic since they don't listen to me until they need money. Are you the asshole? No! Absolutely not. I mean, they're your parents seem to be feeding off of each other's stupidity and like get rich quick kind of horse shit. There's not even one of them that is trying to reason with the other. You, being their child, are the voice of reason, but since they feed off each other's energy, it doesn't matter what you say, it's not happening. I mean, the only way you could possibly help them at this point, instead of giving them any money, any money, I would not give them money, no matter what. But if you really, truly felt like you had to help them in some way, you would have to go yourself with them to pay for like maybe first and last month on an apartment for them. And then at that point, I would I'd wash my hands of them. Done. No, fuck that, because they're gonna, if you hand them any cash at all or do anything that they could get the money back from, like buy something, what the hell ever. I mean, I would even make sure that it was on the papers that you paid the first and last month rent, and that they could not try to get it back, because they're probably just going to take that money and use it on some other stupid get rich quick thing and just piss it away again, and they'll still just be living in their car if they have it at that point. I'm surprised they haven't tried to sell the car or sold the car and just thrown that money away too. Get a job. Get 2 jobs. There are 2 of them. Jeez, that's crazy. It's terrible that they're even trying to sucker you into that. Am I the asshole for not telling my landlord I had bought a house? I'd been renting from a landlord for a few years, and he was pretty typical landlord. Take the rent, do as few repairs as cheap as possible, etc. I'm sure you know the drill. Oh yeah, been in that situation before. He was also kinda late on stuff. Like every year the lease says renewal should be sent out 2 months before the end of the lease to give the option. And every year he procrastinates until the last week or 2 of the lease. I was looking to buy my first house, and I closed on one 4 months before my lease was up. But I kept some overlap so I could live in the apartment while repairing the house. Makes sense. 2 months before the lease was up, like usual, my landlord forgot to send out the renewals. I thought of telling him I wouldn't be renewing. Then I remembered that my neighbors who moved had trouble with him bringing way too many potential tenants to a tour. while they were still living there, he was bringing people in to view the apartment. That's shady as fuck. Nobody wanted the apartment because the online listing was a bait and switch, so people would see something looking in good repair, then come to tour and see that it was shit. And nobody wanted to sign the lease, so he just kept bringing more and more people instead of making an honest listing at an honest price. Makes sense. So I didn't say anything. I just kept fixing up the house and moving my stuff. Then 1 week before my lease expired, my landlord texted me the renewal. I actually didn't see it because I had my phone on Do Not Disturb, but the next morning he kept texting, wanting my signed renewal. I told him I didn't plan on renewing. He got really angry, demanding to know what apartment I was moving to next. I got the impression he wanted to call my next landlord to bitch about me. Anyway, I told him I was moving back in with my parents. I didn't want to tell him about the house because of the temper he was getting with me. That's none of his fucking business anyway. He started showing the apartment right away, but I'd already finished moving out, so it didn't bother me. But when I stopped by to turn in my keys and ask for my security deposit, he got angry, saying that I had some nerve asking for $1,300 when I'd just screwed him out of a month of rent by not giving notice. I told him that the security deposit was for damages, and if he wanted to withhold it, he would have to send over an itemized list of damages and receipts for repairs. He gave me the security deposit back, but yelled at me that he took care of his tenants, and I was selfish for leaving without notice. I just left, but I guess I'm feeling kind of conflicted. On one hand, it is literally his job, his only job, to handle leases and find out who's renewing. And if he forgot, that's not really my problem. But I also knew I was leaving for the better part of a year and told him with less than a week. Am I the asshole for not telling my landlord I bought a house? Edit, for all you keyboard lawyers in the comments being like, your lease says. I've read my lease. It doesn't say half the shit you all are saying it does. Have you read my lease? And if so, how the hell did you get into my bedroom desk? Well, I mean, yeah, unless you sign some really, really fucking weird clause that says some weird shit about when you had to renew and all that. That's one thing, but the fact of the matter is, you said the landlord forgets to send out the renewal shit until the last couple of weeks, and you've got a text with proof of when you sent it, so it doesn't fucking matter. I mean, if he forgets, you can forget. It doesn't matter, because once your lease ends, your fucking lease ends anyway. They shouldn't be bringing in people to tour your damn apartment with you being there. That's just creepy. That's way too creepy. I don't even think they can do that. At least not here. Landlords have to give you like 24 hours notice before they even come in to do something, and I don't think that shit's on the list. Like, you would have had to have signed something saying they can come in any fucking time they want to and bring a whole gaggle of people. And I just don't see that being a thing. So no, you're definitely not the asshole. That guy's a douchebag and moron in more ways than one. Whoa, we went way too far. Excuse me. Am I the asshole for telling my ex's girlfriend I was never married to him and yelling at him when he confronted me? Okay. I was never married to my ex, although we were engaged and we share a daughter together. His girlfriend recently asked me why we divorced, and I explained we were never married, but we broke up because I had postnatal depression. She started crying after I told her, and told me my ex and his family made her get an abortion because they wouldn't accept an out-of-wedlock baby. Okay. She asked me if they tried the same with me, and I told her they hadn't. However, his family did the same to my friend who was dating his brother. My ex was supposed to drop our daughter home yesterday, but came alone so he could confront me and tell me to stay out of his relationship. I ended up yelling at him and telling him he was no better than his brother, and that I couldn't believe I had a baby with someone like him. He yelled at me for interfering in his life because I told him I didn't want my daughter around him, or his family, if this was the type of influence they were going to be on her. Am I the asshole? Well, that was a short one, but also a really weird one. So, man, we're like full on 100% no's on the Am I the Asshole thing today. I mean, those are some sketchy fucking people. That reminds me of like some kind of weird drama kind of deal. You've got the rich upper class people who are just going out and the children are having all kinds of sexual exploits and getting girls pregnant and then paying them off for abortions or to disappear and whatnot. Anyway, it's really weird that they're I don't know how the hell you got away with it, having the kid, when they apparently are big on trying to get their kids' pregnant girlfriends to have abortions. That's so weird. That's so weird. It's just creepy. Like I'm glad they. I mean, you didn't even say they were like trying to bribe them or anything. They were just being pricks, I guess, and trying to force them to do it. I mean, tell them no. It's not that hard to do. It's two letters, one very, very short word. No. And that should be the end of it. You don't even have to talk to them again. It's, man, I would stay the hell away from those people. I would see a lawyer. That's just wrong. Oh. So, we're gonna end it with that one for now. What does everyone else think? Did you notice any assholes in the bunch? If so, why? Have any suggestions on how anyone could have handled anything better? Have any pointers, or just want to talk about it in general? Drop that shit in the comments. We'll have a discussion. And if you want to see other things that I'm doing, or know whenever I'm doing something new, you will probably be able to find that on any of the social media you see listed above in the corner. I hope I pointed in the right direction. Up there. Yeah, straight up. Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone, and we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.